Today, the 24th of November 2024, the African National Congress and the South African Communist Party, historic and current allies, are meeting at a much speculated for and about bilateral meeting to look at political developments in the country, to have a collective characterization of these political developments, to share notes and share ideas about the direction that our country is taking, both politically, in the economy, in the geopolitical environment, as well as looking at the state of our own organizations. You'd already know that the African National Congress is headed for its end of the year National Executive Committee. I won't speak for the party, but I can say the party is headed to its special National Congress. I will share, to leave it at that. Currently, the delegation of the ANC, led by President Ramaphosa, and the delegation of the Communist Party, led by Comrade Solly Mapaila, the General Secretary, is currently in session as we speak. I'm going to ask Comrade Dr. Alex Mashilo, to say a word or two on behalf of the Communist Party, after which we will take questions.
Thank you, Comrade Mahlengi. Today we have an important bilateral meeting between the ANC and the SACP. It is the first bilateral meeting since the elections we held in May 2024. It will be reflecting on the developments that unfolded following the elections, the state of the moment we are in right now, particularly with attention to the conditions of the masses of the people. That is very important. We are not meeting for ourselves as the SACP and the ANC. We are meeting for the people of this country, and our discussions will be based with the interests of the people at heart. Whether those discussions are organizational discussions, whether they are political discussions. And we will be looking at how do we move forward our shared strategy of the National Democratic Revolution. It's all about the people. I will leave it there. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Comrade Mahlengi for highlighting that the SACP will be holding a special National Congress in December from the 11th to the 14th, and that's a key forum to which we will be reporting alliance developments and seeking mandate beyond that special National Congress.
Thank you very much, Comrade Alex. At this point, I am happy for us to take the questions. ENCA.
Really, Trader Jones from ENCA. Perhaps we just wanted to find out what will be the crux of the ongoing discussions. Yes, you've referenced some of the few items that will be touched on. Will the relationship between both sides, SACP and the ANC, be discussed? Particularly looking at some of the remarks that have by the SACP in relation to the dissatisfaction about the relationship between the DA and ANC as part of the Government of National Unity.
Alex?
Definitely, we will discuss our relationship. And the focus in discussing our relationship is to strengthen this relationship. You know that the SACP has been advancing the idea of reconfiguring the alliance in order to strengthen its strategic relevance and leadership impact in our society. That issue will be discussed when we evaluate the state of the National Democratic Revolution. And of course, we will give each other feedback on the work we have done respectively, including the political decisions we have made. Idea of consolidating our relationship and strengthening the alliance. We expect that following this bilateral with the ANC, because the SACP has already met with COSATU, we will be moving to the next step where we will hold an alliance political council, which will then be followed by alliance summits on key issues of transformation and development, political strategy, and as Comrade Mahlengi has said, international policy.
Thank you very much. I mean, I think I can say for the part of the ANC that our historic commitment to the alliance remains intact, and we are looking forward to this meeting looking at those matters where there are areas of disagreement, coming together to robustly engage on those matters. But the idea is to actually fortify and protect the alliance, because it is an alliance really forged in struggle. And I'll move on to SABC.
Well, in Tebumkoba with the SABC, Sis Mahlenge, as the ANC, are you worried that, there's been really a tension between the ANC and the SACP, especially after the formation of the GNU, but it seems you've been talking past each other. As the ANC, are you worried really about a traditional and a historical ally like the SACP and even COSATU by extension, talking past each other on an important matter of governance? Are you worried that at some point it took long to really find some time to thresh out your differences?
Now, I suppose both the party and the ANC ought to be worried where they are such huge disagreements that play themselves out in the public domain. We wouldn't traditionally do that. And so we are really interested in the success of this meeting, and we're confident. It's not the first time that the SACP and the African National Congress, even when we were in exile, both of us, there have been moments where there are debates about the direction of the revolution. And similarly, we are presented with that historical moment where we need to find one another. For its part, the African National Congress obviously will share its own insights into the post-election outcome and what the opportunities and the risks that that moment has presented and how we are navigating that. And certainly we expect that there will be a discussion around those areas. We are worried that it is important that the alliance functions. What has made South Africa's transformation journey and the state of the National Democratic Revolution has been the idea of an ANC-led broad front of the alliance and other formations of the democratic movement in South Africa historically. And this is required as we transition into the future. Maybe to Dr. Mashilo.
The inclusion of the DA in this GNU has been an irritation, a serious irritation for the SACP. Are you prepared to accept something or nothing?
Look, when we went to campaign for the ANC in the 2024 May elections, we were critical of the DA. We went door to door, village by village. We entered in townships. We interacted with workers in factories. We were critical about the DA. And the DA at that moment was campaigning to remove the ANC from power. We still stand where we were. We are strategically consistent, which is why we raised our discomfort about the DA. I will give you a few examples. We campaigned for the national health insurance. They opposed it. They still oppose it. We don't like that. We campaigned for transformation in education, particularly for those citizens of our country who live in provinces like Gauteng. You will remember the case of the Rivonia High School, where black learners were excluded. And as a result of that case, and what happened in areas like Polokwane, Central Durban, and other metropolitan areas where there are former white schools, where admission and language policy was used to exclude Africans, we campaigned supporting particularly a program that started in Gauteng province led by Panyaza Lusufi and previously Comrade Barbara Creasy for transformation in education. We supported the Education Laws Amendment Bill. The DA opposed it. We campaigned for the national minimum wage. The DA opposed it. We campaigned against privatization. The DA campaigns for privatization. There is just nothing in common between the Communist Party and the DA. We are certain that we will share these views when we meet, but rest assured, because this is not necessarily, while this is the first bilateral, It is not the first alliance meeting. We had an alliance political council briefing session where the SACP and COSATU briefed the leadership of the ANC about why we don't like the DA. It is not just a matter of heart. It is a matter of material interest. There is a clash in the material interests. So it is not even a matter of whether we are prepared to accept something or not to accept something. Every political struggle comprises of contradictions. What we are prepared to do is to engage in the contradictions towards a solution to the problem.
We certainly are not going to be debating what is going to be debated at a meeting. We were just surprising you of the fact that the meeting is currently sitting, but we are not conducting the debate here because we will still have an opportunity to report back to South Africans and to brief members of the media about the outcomes of the meeting, and look out for that advisory that is going to be asking you to come through for us to communicate the outcomes of this bilateral meeting. So unless there are any other questions, but not questions that go into the substance of what the meeting is about.
Maybe again, Dr. Bashiro, and not to preempt, but are you hoping for a positive outcome, that this dialogue, where you don't meet each other halfway, that you will engage until there's a positive outcome?
The SACP and the ANC are historical allies. We are the oldest alliance in this country. We have had problems, like Comrade Mahlengu has said, in exile and after exile. You will recall the problems we had with gear. You will recall the problems we had in the early 2000s with privatization. You will recall the problems we had with financial and trade liberalization. So we will engage at this meeting we came here because we are looking for a positive outcome. So that is so essential. So my accused number one has spoken. So we came here to just say, look, we are meeting. We are not here to take the substance of the meeting outside of the meeting and communicate ideas that may be negated following this engagement. But we came here because there is one thing and one thing in both of us, the ANC and the SACP, a positive outcome. This is in the interest of the people of our country, and many people in the continent are looking at the outcome of our meeting, as well as they are learning from our alliance what will happen, because there is a general reshuffling in the lineup of forces in our country. There is a change in the balance of forces. So we need to move with the times. And in doing so, we need to create that positive intersection, if I can use that mathematical word. So definitely, there is no doubt we need positive outcomes where we are both happy. But that doesn't mean we abandon our existence as independent organizations, because this alliance is an alliance of independent organizations. So from time to time, you are likely to have differences in opinions as well as disagreements. What is important is how you manage that process, how you bring together these things and channel them towards a positive outcome. So if there is one theme for this meeting, is to achieve a positive outcome. I would appeal to you that we leave things from here and then wait for the main outcome of the meeting.
Yes, from our side, we are involved in a broad alliance, as you know, both with the party, with the Congress of South African Trade Unions, the Progressive Labour Federation in our country, as well as with SANCO. And we are intentional about making sure that these historic alliance works for the benefit of what we refer to as the motive forces, those people that yearn for the gains of freedom, for the benefit of freedom, and that everyone, this alliance must work towards that, must ensure that we deliver basic services to our people that they yearn for so much, must ensure that we have an inclusive economic growth, must ensure that in that inclusive economic growth we can create jobs, both for young people and for adults that are employable. And all of those things can only happen in an environment where there is stability. Stability with our own progressive allies, including the student movement. We have that burden of responsibility as the African National Congress to reach out in moments where there are disagreement, to reach out, because we have that burden of responsibility of leadership in the alliance. you would have seen that during the course of 2024 and 2023, you've seen the revival of the ANC Youth League, the Women's League, the launch of the Veterans League. You've seen the revival of SASCO, of COSAS, and all of these, the ANC has been at the center of this revival of the student bodies as well as the leagues of the ANC. Why are we doing this? Why are we interested in the meeting that's currently underway? It's precisely because only a united, broad, progressive front can help us to accelerate changes in the thoroughgoing transformation, both in the provision of basic services as well as in growing our economy, as well as ensuring that we contest the battle of ideas in the geopolitical space, as well as the battle of ideas more broadly in society. Having said all of that, do look out for a comprehensive statement that will then speak to matters of substance that are currently under discussion. Thank you very much.